In the 1970s, a rash of Bigfoot sightings popped up in a small Tennessee town. However, this Bigfoot was much more aggressive and used tactics to lure people to come and investigate. This southern Bigfoot variant, known as the Flintville Monster, is still terrifying locals to this day. I'm Logan.
And I'm Ben.
This is Small Talk.
What the hell is small talk?
Small Talk? Glad you asked. So instead of dedicating a full Sunday episode to a topic, Small Talk is going to take place on Wednesdays. We're going to do little lighthearted stuff like this. We're going to do cryptids, we're going to do ghost stories, things of that nature. Because our Sunday episodes are honestly a little depressing. We get into a lot of heavy shit. This is meant to lighten the load a little bit.
Awesome. Thanks for answering my question.
Okay, well...
So the Flintville Monster, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even look at this. I didn't realize we were right here in good old home cooking country of Tennessee.
It's in Lincoln County. There's a part of this story...
I was in Lincoln County today.
Were you?
I was.
There's a part of this story I'm going to read. You're going to hear it, and I guarantee you're going to have a comment. You're going to say something.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm familiar with that area. I mean, I go over there all the time.
Yeah. Well, here we go. So, Small Talk keynote. We're not going to do a review because, spoiler alert, we recorded this directly after OKC2.
Plus, this is just a small, fun little story.
We're just gonna go over some stuff.
Yeah.
Have some yucks. Get through it.
I can't wait to yuck. Let's get into this.
In March of 1976, Ray Steelman, a local hunter, claims to have encountered a, quote, 7 to 8 foot bipedal creature with red glowing eyes. The creature also had a strong sulfur-like odor. This creature allegedly lured Stillman's hunting party close by mimicking a rabbit in distress. The Lincoln County Sheriff's Office was called to investigate, but they found no evidence to support the claim. On April 26, 1976, Jeannie Robertson claimed this monster ambushed her car while she was driving her 4-year-old son. She says the monster broke her antenna and began jumping up and down on the roof before attempting to grab the kid. Robertson would go on to claim the monster came to her house, which was evident by a, quote, foul skunk-like odor coming from the woods. This prompted lawmen and a posse of hunters to go and investigate the woods surrounding Robertson's home, where they allegedly heard screams, found a 16-inch footprint, which was casted. They also found hair, mucus, and blood, but there was no sign of the creature. The samples were analyzed, but they were never conclusively linked to any known animal.
Okay, that last sentence is a little head-scratching. However, this is the Lincoln County Police Department. I'm fully aware of small-town Tennessee police departments, especially in 1976.
Yeah.
They literally could have just said this.
They could have. I mean,
just to stir up whatever. I mean, I'm not denying that this happened, and it's very possible.
I was never able to corroborate. Like, there's no pictures of Jeannie Robertson's vehicle with dents and broken. I mean, even if there was, like, you could easily describe dents on the roof and a broken antenna.
For sure,
you could explain what happened there.
Yeah,
but yeah, that last part, the hairs and the mucus and the blood that do, like, according to them, do not belong to a known animal.
I would say, like, this being 50 years ago, if this were today, this would genuinely, like, perplex me a lot more. Because today you have every animal ever in databases or whatever. However, even this being 50 years ago, that the fact that they were not able to, like, match anything, like the mucus, the hair, the blood, nothing, to a known animal, it's
pretty creepy.
That's a little weird.
Yeah. I texted you, like, as I was writing the script. I was like, hey, this is actually a little spooky.
And a 16-inch casted footprint.
Mm-hmm. We're just getting started, baby.
16 inches is a lot.
Huge.
That's way too
No
big.
Footprint should be 16 inches.
No, if your footprint is 16 inches, you need to have some sort of reduction surgery.
Yeah, for sure. It's way too much.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, let's move on.
Within the next few months, families in the Flintville area reportedly started hearing loud, guttural screams and seeing a hulking, shadowy figure in the woods at night. Several small farm animals and pets were found dead under mysterious circumstances. Some appeared to be partially eaten. Initially, the Flintville Monster was a spooky story told around town. However, when animals continued to be found mutilated, the vibe changed and residents were genuinely scared. There were nightly armed patrols, and those 16-inch footprints were found near a creek bed in one instance. Local papers began running stories during the height of the panic.
This is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's like just some big prankster out here somewhere who maybe just had a big old footprint made out of something and was walking around hollering, killing animals?
However, I will say
that would take a pretty fucked up person though to be able to mutilate and eat.
Yeah.
Like you said, small farmers. I'm thinking like
animals,
goats,
farm
pigs,
animals, pets. Yeah.
Wow. Good grief.
That's, I mean, again, like small animals, coyotes can do that.
Yeah, I mean, but the guttural scream, like it has to be something pretty gnarly to scare a bunch of small town Tennessee folks. Small town Tennessee folks like aren't scared of a coyote.
That's true.
Like you may go in the house and just like, hey, let's not go out. There's a coyote out there. You're not going to be as scared as this whole town is.
The screams are what get me.
Yeah.
Because like if there are actually screams coming from the woods, anybody can say. I could walk outside right now and be like, hey Ben,
yeah,
I just heard a scream from this field back there.
I'd be like, I've lived here a long time.
Anybody can say that.
Yeah. But the fact that this whole town,
yeah,
like you think, I don't know.
It's interesting. I mean, it's like every other Bigfoot sighting.
Yeah, you'll never know the truth.
However, I'll tell you this. You know, right now we're having a fun, lighthearted conversation about Bigfoot.
Yeah.
This story is going to take a turn.
Okay, let's get into it.
During the early 80s, people began reporting a, quote, white-furred creature near the railroad tracks. They claimed this was an albino Bigfoot.
Of course they did.
A plumber claimed that the creature smashed the windshield on his work truck, and a woman said she was chased by a, quote, large black furry creature into her home.
Is it black or is it white? Or are we saying there's more than one monster out here?
I think we're saying there's more than one because the first sighting, Ray Stillman described it as a black furred, 7-8 foot tall bipedal creature. Okay. So this white albino Bigfoot, I mean, that seems as though it's something completely different.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be. Like it's a different color. I guess.
It's an epidemic. We got Bigfoot everywhere down here.
We've got some kind of chameleon Bigfoot thing going on here.
Could be. The creature also banged on her front door. There were no major sightings during the early part of the 80s, but during the mid to late 80s, the sightings began being centralized around the Teal Hollow Road area. Most of the sightings near Teal Hollow Road were audible, with those rabbit-like screams being heard numerous times. A local principal, David Golden, claims to have conducted several, quote, knock tests, but was never able to get a response.
A knock test? What is it like?
So have you seen those videos, like the Bigfoot hunters go out in the woods and they like knock on a tree?
Yeah. Bigfoot is supposed to respond. So you knock on the tree, you get a back at you. Or it was actually live from 1986.
That was the clip from 86?
That was the albino.
Well, nobody mentioned 1986, so I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Oh, sorry, 1980.
Okay. Yeah, it's like either the screams or allegedly a Bigfoot will like knock on a tree and it's supposed to sound similar. So if you knock on a tree in the middle of the woods and you hear another knock, that's supposed to be Bigfoot out there somewhere. Yeah. The same town people. Go ahead, sorry.
How did we figure that out?
You know, Bigfoot science.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
Okay. All right. I'm still on board. I'm not off the wagon. I'm still here. You still got me.
Okay. In the summer of 1980, a couple of campers claimed they were scared away from their tent by a, quote, large, foul-smelling creature. And when they returned a day later, they found those large tracks around their tent. The last, quote, credible sighting came in the winter of 81 when a local man claims to have seen a large, hairy creature on 2 legs cross the road in front of his truck in the early morning.
And by large, he means... I mean, this could just be some guy, like some large hairy guy.
Good. I mean, I'm assuming we're talking about the same
8 feet tall.
Okay. Creature. That scared the shit out of me. You imagine, like, you're going to work one morning, super early, still dark out. Just in the distance, you see something that's clearly larger than a man, black, furry, just scooting across the road.
Well, and I'll say this. I've met one person in my life, and this guy was like 7'4". Mm-hmm. He was a basketball player for the University of Florida. And he is, like, alarmingly tall. Like, you don't realize how tall somebody that's 7'4" is until you see them. And if you see something that's 7 to 8 feet tall and hairy and huge, I would probably shit my pants.
Yeah. I'm imagining an ape.
Pretty much, yeah.
300 to 400 pounds of just muscle.
Yeah. Just like, a bear on 2 legs.
Yeah. It's terrifying.
Yeah, that's fucking terrifying.
Sightings tapered off in the 90s, but there were a few of those mysterious white hairs caught on fences across different farms. A group of kids say they had a face-to-face encounter in the woods around Teal Hollow Road. The screams were allegedly heard numerous times as well. Throughout the 2000s, 2010s, and into the 2020s, the story of the Flintville Monster devolved into folklore. And while there have been many amateur investigators that have attempted to lure it out, there haven't been any credible sightings since the 90s. Although those mysterious screams in remote parts of the area can still be heard to this day.
So I'm thinking either somebody was playing a prank with, I don't know, big suit maybe?
Okay.
I mean, that... I'm just, throwing theories out.
Mm-hmm.
Or there was some crazy monster Bigfoot creature. Maybe it died. Maybe it was abducted by aliens. I don't know.
Funny you mention aliens.
Oh, we about to get into aliens?
Funny you mention aliens.
Oh my, we're about to get into aliens. Oh, hell yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
In October of 1973, there were numerous reports of strange lights in the sky in the heavily wooded areas around Highway 64. One witness, who was a retired Air Force veteran, claims he saw a glowing orb the size of a car dart through the treetops and stop abruptly midair with no sound.
So, you said Highway 64.
Yes, sir.
This must be the part where you thought I was going to have comments.
Yeah.
Because Highway 64 is right over there.
Yes, sir.
I drive it quite literally every single day.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable.
Isn't that bizarre?
That is bizarre. I'm on 64 every day.
Mm.
Wow. So now that you've mentioned this is pre-drones.
This is 1973.
This is 1973. If there are lights in the sky, there's not a person alive at that point that is aware of anything that can make these kind of motions.
No.
So they wouldn't, you can't make this up.
You can make it up. I mean, you could just say, oh, I saw this in the sky.
But, you pull that out of your ass. Because nowadays, if I walk outside and I was like, dude, I just saw, something flying through the sky. You could be like, oh, yeah, it was a plane or a helicopter or it was a drone.
Yeah.
Any number of things.
Do you have any stories like that? Have you ever seen any strange lights in the sky?
You want to see the video I took 3 weeks ago?
Sure.
Check this shit out.
What the fuck?
Oh, I did.
That's bright.
Just off in the distance.
As hell.
Yeah, just off in the distance. Just kind of you do this and you just kind of watch it. Oh, God damn it. You see it kind of flicker.
That's almost like a spotlight being turned on, but that spotlight would have to be absolutely massive.
It does. I've never seen it again.
That would have to be the size of a building.
Well, and there's nothing that way.
You're
what could that
10 miles away from the next biggest town, which is Pulaski.
Yeah, you're not seeing any light pollution from Pulaski. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I forgot to show you that, but yeah. You mentioned light in the sky. That reminded me of that. I was just walking Z outside one night.
I have another story. I have a story. My lights in the sky story.
Okay.
So I was a kid. I was probably 9 or 10. We had neighbors that lived across the street. The way my house is set up. Our house is here, we have the trees behind us, our neighbors are kind of more up on the hill, facing us. Good friends with our neighbors. They came out, we would often, the mom of that family smoked. My mom smoked, so we would all kind of hang out in the yard most nights for a little bit. They're out on their porch, and they see, like, it is a triangle of green lights, but not like a bright green light, like, it's like a faint glow of a green light, but there's 3 of them, triangle formation. This thing goes from behind the tree up to about 12 o'clock, like right above us. Disappears. So bizarre. I don't think it was aliens. I think there's probably an explanation. I don't know what it was, though.
And what year was this? You said you were a kid, right?
Yeah, 08, 09 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. That's bizarre, man.
That was bizarre. It's like the other weekend when we went camping and saw the freaking Tesla satellite.
Yeah.
Or not Tesla.
Starlink. Yeah,
Starlink satellite.
You guys have never seen Starlink before.
No, and we used it while we RV'd. We used it for like 7
It's super common. You can see it pretty much anywhere. Several witnesses pulled off of the road on Highway 121 to witness a triangle formation of red lights hover silently above the road. Hunters in Flintville claimed to have witnessed lights descend into the trees, followed by mechanical buzzing sounds.
Glorb.
I didn't put it in the outline, but apparently there's a theory that these Flintville lights are responsible for this creature. Maybe Bigfoot is an alien and they dropped him off in Flintville, Tennessee.
It's kind of where my head was going. Yeah. You mentioned because the sighting of these lights around the time of this monster. I'm not usually one to fall into a conspiracy. I think that's weird that these small town because dude, I have met people that live in places like Flintville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
They don't make shit like this up for no reason. Like,
it's true.
At least, like you said, several witnesses. I'm assuming is at least 3-4 cars that probably don't even know each other. They don't make this shit up.
We're talking about a highway. Like, multiple people pulled off to look at this triangle formation of red lights.
Yeah. So
That's bizarre.
It is bizarre.
It's weird.
It would be bizarre to see today, and it's one of those things where I need to see it for myself to fully grasp that it's happening. Because if you were to come to me and be like, yeah, dude, I was driving down Highway 64, saw this triangular shape of lights, and I'd be like, well, dude, I can't help you.
Yeah. See, the thing that makes these kind of alien stories interesting to me, we're talking Flintville, Tennessee.
Yeah, this is right down the road from us.
Like, we're not near any major military installation. You can't say, oh, it was a test flight of some high-tech plane. Like, no, there's nothing around here.
The closest thing to us in that regard would be the Redstone Arsenal.
Yeah.
And that's an hour south, and it's...
I think they're gonna fly into Alabama because there's a lot of smaller towns in central Alabama.
I'm not even sure how long
north.
the Arsenal's been around. I don't think it's been around.
That's true. Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't think it's been here since the 70s.
I feel like it's been around since like the space race.
Like 60, like Russian USA space race thing.
Space and rocket centers in Huntsville.
That's true.
I'm feeling like they were probably around during the space race.
Let's do a live lookup. We're doing a live lookup.
Huh. But that is like, I don't know. It almost seems like when in this case, when you're in Flintville, Tennessee, you see strange lights. Go ahead.
Wow. 1941.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Arsenal.
Yep. Okay. Redstone Arsenal, 1941, designated as the home of Army missiles for World War II.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yep.
Okay.
There you go. It was an ordnance plant to start out. And now it's a very secretive chemical and construction, like weapons facility.
So I think it's High Strangeness on Reddit. There's some folks on the High Strangeness, the High Strangeness on Reddit.
Yeah.
There was a one guy. Anyways, there was this plume of something that showed up on radar. This guy on the subreddit, he showed the footage of that on the radar website. He was like, the caption read something along the lines of, Redstone Arsenal was also conducting a top secret experiment But this plume was like, we're talking like down. We're talking Coleman, like Birmingham, down.
Like an hour or so south of Huntsville, even.
But he's claiming like this plume of something had something to do with the Redstone Arsenal.
Well, the Arsenal is pretty secretive.
But, okay, it's also in North Alabama. It's not way down there.
That's true. That's a pretty good distance away for you to connect those two dots.
I'm not saying there's not weird stuff that goes on with the Arsenal. I'm sure there's top secret stuff that we can't even fathom going on there.
My uncle works there, and his own brother, like, has no idea what he does. He can't tell him. He won't tell him.
So interesting. I wish I had a job like that.
Like, I don't think I could have a job where I kept it from, like, my closest. Like, I mean, that's his brother. They grew up together. They are as close as two human beings can be.
There's a lot of things I can't tell you. I'll tell you stories. There's a lot of things I can't tell you about my job.
I mean, yeah, like at the bank, there's a lot of, like, confidentiality stuff where I can't just go. Because, I mean, I have access to people's bank accounts, their social security numbers, their address, everyone they're connected to, I have access to. I can't go giving that out.
Yeah.
But for you to work at, like, for my uncle's sake, I've asked him before, like, what do you do? He's like, I can't get into it.
Mm.
You know, I'm like, you can tell me, like, a ballpark of what you do. Like, if people were to ask me, hey, what do you do at the bank? I'd be like, I do appraisals, but...
Security clearances, man. They don't mess around with that stuff.
And he's high up. He's been there since the 80s. Yeah. He started there, like, fresh out of college.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways. Speculations.
We really spiraled there.
Yeah, we did.
We went way off the track.
I'll listen to it, and we'll see what stays in, what doesn't.
All right.
Locals seem to think the Flintville Lights and the Flintville Monster are together. Overall, the Flintville Monster is seen as a, quote, more aggressive variant of the traditional Bigfoot, with believers speculating its proximity to Appalachia have something to do with its aggressive tendencies. What did those hairs belong to? What is screaming in the woods at night in Flintville?
This makes me want to go to Flintville.
God, I mean,
yeah.
20 minutes up the road, something like that?
That'd be a lot further than that.
Really?
Yeah. It's probably well over an hour away.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
At least from here, because I mean, it's 20 minutes to 64. Well, not 20, but 15 maybe. And then...
It's like, Flintville is like south of Fayetteville.
Directly south of Fayetteville?
More or less.
Yeah, you're looking at probably about an hour. It takes 45 minutes to get to Fayetteville.
We should go.
I'm down. I drive that road.
We can go to Till Hollow Road.
Yeah.
Do some knock tests.
Let's go. You know what? Let's GPS Till Hollow Road in Flintville, Tennessee.
It's not far. I had to I tried to get like a map of where the sightings happened and more or less centralize it. Of course, no one put that together. So
this says Kelso. Is that the same town?
No.
Yeah.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's just south of Fayetteville, just north of Flintville.
There you go.
Till Hollow Road is 59 minutes away.
Wow.
So I said
nail on the head.
I said an hour.
Good job, man.
Look at that.
You're on fire tonight.
I know.
Real proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You buzzed your head.
I buzzed my head.
Kinda. Getting to me a little bit.
Yeah, you like that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I like it a little more than I think I should.
Okay.
Let's cut these mics off.
Let's wrap this up, man.
Yeah, let's wrap
All right. Well, that's small talk. Let us know if you like this. Again, let us know if you want to hear something spooky. We will cover it. No one has commented outside of Dylan. Shout out Dylan. Love you, Dill.
Love you, Dill. He's not going to hear this. I can listen to this shit.
But yeah. We're up to like 15 consistent listeners at this point. We went from 5 to 15 pretty quickly.
We love all of you.
Every single one of you guys. Let us know what you want to hear. This is Small Talk. Find us on all the socials. Find us wherever you get your podcast. And look forward to those Sunday releases. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.